Hello guys, you're welcome to another one of our videos, and in this video we're going to be talking, I think this is the fourth video. So in this video we're going to be talking about tuples. Now if you don't know what a tuple is, well, you're welcome to the club. I don't know what a tuple is either. I can only show you. I mean, I know what a tuple is. It's basically a collection of different values, and basically I'm just gonna show you because I'm not really sure I know how to properly define that shit. Anyways, so I'm gonna do, let's say, tuple. And by the way, if you're wondering why I cannot type a tuple and I have to use snake, that's because that's what Ross actually recommends. Because if you use something like a tuple, then they're gonna complain because this probably looks like a lion, so they require for you to write in a snake. We love snake, we Rustaceans, we love snakes. So anyway, let a tuple equals to 20 true and false. So you might be wondering, what the hell does this syntax look like? Well, I'm just gonna show you because I'm gonna print this. I'm gonna say our tuple equal to, and I'm gonna print a tuple. If I can type, and I'm gonna run it, and you're gonna see what our tuple looks like. Holy crap! So it's not gonna compile. What does it say? It says cannot be formatted with a default formatter. That's not an issue. We're just gonna put a question mark, a colon and a question mark, and that should fix it, and we should now be able to see our tuple printed right here. Now, what was the error that it gave when what was it talking about when it was saying something about cannot be printed with the default formatter bullshit? Anyway, what it's saying is that this is the default formatter for Rust. Okay, the default formatter looks like this, and it formats basically only primitive data types. A tuple is not really a primitive data type. I think it is. It's like a first-class citizen in Rust, but I don't think it's like primitive like that. So you need to use this debug. I think this is the debug formatter. So the debug formatter is what you use if the default formatter doesn't work. And although whatever construct you're using for that has to implement the debug trait, but don't worry, we'll get into that in subsequent videos. Now, if I want to make this look a little bit prettier, as you can see, this is what it printed out right here. If I wanted to make this look a little bit prettier, I'm gonna have to put a hash in the middle here and then run the program. And as you can see, this is a little bit prettier because there's a bracket here, there's an indentation, and whatever. So this is called pretty printing, and this is called debug printing. So if you want to print pretty debug, then this is what you get. And if you wanted to just do normal debug print, this is what you do, and this is what you get. So that's what printing looks like. Now let's go back to talking about tuples. Now you can see here, this is what the declaration actually looks like because I used the type inference again for Rust. But if I wanted to declare this myself, this is what it was going to look like. So I'm going to have I32 bool and bool. So you see that it's actually the same thing, and you can run it, and this is what you get. Beautiful. Now, why is this tuple of a thing powerful? Well, basically, I think what tuple allows you to do is store variables inside, store different kind of data inside one structure. So as you can see here, this tuple contains an integer, a boolean, and a boolean. So this is exactly the same thing you would do with a struct, where you have like name I32. Sorry, how can a name be an I32? Age I32 is dead. Make sure you use snake. I32 is not dead. I32. So something like this is exactly what you would write. So this is exactly something like what you would write for a struct. But what tuples allow you to do is write something similar without actually having any names for any one of this. So you might be wondering, okay, if I have something like this declaration, how am I supposed to get the values inside? So for example, let's say I want to get a second value. Well, this is actually easy. We're just gonna do a print line is dead is going to be so remember I can use the default formatter for fundamental data types, and because I want to access the second variable here, which is the fundamental data type, I'm just going to have it here. I'm going to say a tuple dot one. Holy crap. Run it and you're gonna see that that is actually gonna work. So I didn't make that one up, because I'm sure some of you are gonna be looking like, holy shit, what is this guy writing here? That's exactly what it's supposed to look like. All right, so if I wanted to access, like by the way, just to make things more interesting, I'm gonna change this to here to that, and then I'm gonna have to use a string literal, which we're gonna talk about in probably 2 videos from now. We'll talk about strings, because there's actually some interesting things to note about strings when it comes to Rust. Trust me, Rust is fucked up with strings, but we'll get into that in about 2 videos or 3 videos from now. So if you type 2, you can actually get yep, I'm here. So this is the index 0, 1 and 2. So this is how you access individual values inside of a tuple. Now there's also something about tuples called destructuring. Now don't ask me, I didn't invent the word, I learned about it from the Rust book. And destructuring is basically when you destructure something. Okay, destructuring is when you break the tuple apart into its individual pieces. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I don't care. Anyway, so this is how we destructure things. Okay, so I'm gonna say x, y, z equals to a tuple, and this is, so what have I done here? I have destructured this tuple into 3 constituent variables. And how do you know that I did that for sure? Well, I'm gonna say this string. So the third variable is going to be this string. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to print it, of course. There's nothing else we can do but print. So the ish, and we're going to do this string just like that. And we're going to run this and we should have an error. What is this? Oh, it actually printed, but there's an error. Yeah, that's because Rust is also crazy about unused variables. You see, the Rust compiler is extremely problematic. It has a lot of issues with real life, human beings and the way they write code. It doesn't know that we actually like to write variables that we don't actually need. But in order to silence the compiler, we can actually just put an underscore here and an underscore here for variables that we don't need to reference its values. So if I run this now, you're gonna see that the compiler is not gonna cry anymore, and it's gonna just as a side note, basically in all your journey with Rust, the compiler is going to be your biggest enemy. That guy is just crazy. He's gonna complain every step of the way, even when you do things right. So you're basically gonna have to get used to fighting with the Rust compiler every time. So, but basically you can see here that I can actually ignore variables that I don't need. For example, I don't need this part of the tuple. I don't need this part of the tuple, and this is the only part of the tuple that I need. And as you can see, this is what is called destructuring. Let me spell it for those of you that don't know what spelling looks like. Destructuring. Damn it. So this is it. I think I got it right. I think I should check Google to make sure that I understand what that's what it looks like. You can't be too careful. Yeah, I got it right. I think, yeah, it should be right. This is exactly the same spelling as what I typed in. Anyway, so that's that. Destructuring. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you like and subscribe, and turn on your notifications for more videos, and peace.